Okay, so we hear all the time about vitamin C, vitamin D, right? They get all the headlines. But what about one of the quiet workhorses of our body's chemistry? I'm talking about vitamin B6. In this explainer, we're going to unpack why this nutrient is so incredibly essential, even if it doesn't get all the spotlight.
But let's kick things off with a bit of a curveball. What if I told you that vitamin B6 isn't, well, just one thing? This question right here gets to the very heart of what makes it so different.
Yep, you heard that right. Vitamin B6 is actually more like a family name for a whole team of 6 related compounds. Your body can kind of swap them around as needed, but there's one real MVP of the group, the most active form, which is called pyridoxal 5-phosphate, or, PLP for short. That's the one doing most of the heavy lifting.
Okay, so what does this team actually do? Well, a great way to think about vitamin B6 is like a master key. It's this one little thing that unlocks hundreds of different doors inside your body's super complex machinery.
And when I say hundreds, I am not exaggerating. In that active PLP form we just talked about, B6 acts as what's called a coenzyme, basically a crucial helper molecule for over 140 different chemical reactions. Seriously, it's like the spark plug for just about everything, from how you feel to how you burn energy.
So you can basically group all those 140 plus reactions into 3 main jobs. First step, it's a builder. It helps us process amino acids, which are, the building blocks of protein. Next, it's all about brain power. B6 is crucial for making those key neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine that pretty much govern our mood. And finally, it's the energy releaser. It helps unlock the glucose that's stored in our cells for fuel.
All right, so we've established B6 is super important. The next logical question is, where do we get it? Because here's the thing, our bodies can't make it from scratch. We have to get it from the food we eat, period. And the good news is, it's in a ton of different foods. You've got your usual suspects like tuna, salmon, and chicken, all fantastic sources. But check this out. Pistachios are way up there at the top. Who knew, right? It just goes to show you can find it all over the place. Okay, but there is one little catch. Not all B6 is created equal when it comes to how our body absorbs it. The type you get from animal sources is a bit more bioavailable, which is just a fancy way of saying our bodies can grab onto it and use it more easily. The B6 in plants is a little harder for us to access, but, and this is a big but, studies show that if you're eating a good, balanced vegetarian diet, you're still going to get plenty. No need to worry. So how much are we actually aiming for each day? Well, for most adults, the recommended daily amount is actually tiny. We're talking between just 1.3 and 1.7 milligrams. It's wild, right? Such a small amount has this huge impact. And like we just saw, it's totally achievable with a normal, balanced diet. Okay, but this is where the story takes a turn, and where we all need to pay close attention. Because with B6, there's a really fine line between just right and way, way too much. And the crazy part? The danger almost never comes from the food you eat. First, let's talk about not getting enough. Now, a true deficiency is pretty rare, so don't panic. But when it does happen, the symptoms are no joke. We're talking skin rashes and some pretty scary neurological stuff like confusion or that awful pins and needles feeling in your hands and feet, which is called peripheral neuropathy. And that brings us to the other side of the coin, getting too much. This chart says it all. So look over on the left. That's our daily need, right? About 1.7 milligrams. Tiny. Now look at the other bars. The EU says the safe upper limit is 12 milligrams. The US says it's 100. And here's the problem. You can walk into any store and buy a supplement that has 100 milligrams, or even more, in a single pill. That's just a massive, massive dose compared to what our bodies actually need. And if you think I'm being dramatic, listen to this. This is a direct quote from the National Academy of Medicine. They're not mincing words here. Taking huge doses from supplements doesn't give you superpowers. It can actually cause the exact same neurological problems as a deficiency. Only this time the damage can be painful and permanent. That's a huge deal. So all of this leaves us with one really important question to think about. There's no doubt vitamin B6 is essential. It's that master key for our health, right? But there's a world of difference between getting what you need from your food and getting a mega dose from a bottle. So you have to ask yourself, when it comes to B6, is more really better? All the evidence seems to scream, absolutely not.